What's up, everyone? Thank you so much for being here. My name is David Morin. This is the Year to Live podcast. I am so excited to be doing this, and I'm so excited that you're here. So, for those of you who don't know me, for those of you who do, here's a reminder of my journey here briefly. I am a former sales guy turned poet, turned death doula, turned prison facilitator, toward embracer of the unknown and all there is to be uncomfortable by. I've got off the deep end, folks, and there's no going back. So here we go. What this is I recently opened my own container and cohort for people to explore this year to live process, to explore the question of what it would mean if you only had 1 year left to breathe, 1 year left of sunsets, 1 year left of your morning routine, or lack of morning routine, 1 year left of sleeping in, right? 52 Sundays, however you want to see that. And so, in sitting with that comes a large degree of discomfort for many evolutionary and society reasons, which we will not get into right now, this second. But this container is where people just contemplate with that idea every day. And it's consider it a daily microdose of mortality from Mother Nature, if you will. And so, A Year to Live, I would be remiss if I didn't say the inspiration is by this incredible meditation teacher, death doula, writer, poet. Rest his soul. His name was Stephen Levine. He wrote a book of the same name called A Year to Live. And after working with so many people who were dying and sat bedside with them, he realized that almost all of them would faced with a certain reality, with a certainty of a diagnosis that they only have a few years, a few months, 1 year, 6 months, 2 years left to live, that all of them, many of them, most of them, I don't have a percentage, most of them used this as a second chance at life. They said, oh shit, I've always wanted to travel and I've never freaking traveled and I only have 1 year left to live. I'm traveling. I'm leaving my job. I'm getting a new job. I'm building my dream house. I'm getting a divorce. I'm tearing my house down. I'm going to learn the guitar. What has been on your heart if you only had 1 year left to live? That is the point. So I took this class. It was offered through the executive director of the Elizabeth Kubler-Ross Foundation in Mexico, an incredible teacher, transpersonal psychologist, death doula, artist, speaker, thought leader, innovator. She's incredible. Her name is Wilka Roig. She facilitated this class. There's a handful of us in there, but during my Year to Live experience, I took it very seriously. I showed up every month, halfway in tears, some months most, but I committed so fiercely to this idea because I wanted to learn how I can better serve people who I know are dying with my death doula hat on. And I had a profound healing journey through the process. And so here I am. I wanted to spread this to others. And what you can expect here is I will be talking to one person, maybe a couple outside of our monthly private group calls, but these would be more public calls, or that we would just talk on the side to process what they're going through. I want to be clear that I am not here to tell anyone what to do with their lives. I am not anyone's guru. I am a student of mortality. I have taken the front row seat. This is me being the nerd of all nerds and saying, I took notes and I'm going to help everyone prepare for this test, right? I haven't even taken the test. I'm just taking this class again, and I'll probably take it every year for the rest of my life. But we are students of mortality together. And all I am doing is helping others sit with this idea because it's so damn scary. It's so damn scary. And I am convinced that we all can arrive at our own answers. We all have very unique lives, very unique childhoods, unique traumas, unique wins. We all have very unique lives, and we're all going to have a very unique dying experience when the time comes. And so this is up to us. It's up to you to get your answers and find your own peace. And I believe that sitting with mortality, if this daily microdose, is the key to finding that peace and stillness. Except we need to be able to explore it and contemplate on it enough in a safe and appreciated space. And because so many of us cannot tolerate these conversations longer than a few seconds, that's where my superpower comes in. I'll sit with it. I'll let you roll in the mud with it. And you can just find some peace through it, some stillness, and I'll be here throughout the process. I know it's not super good selling point, but I'm not even selling. It's just what I do. I help people look at the mud, sit in the mud, love the mud, and realize that they are the mud. All right. So I will probably have another episode where I go more into detail, but I want to introduce this first episode. It started with a phone call from a wonderful friend of mine, Sarah McCash. I met her through another great friend of mine, Alvin, my desire doula buddy. Thank you, sir. Forever grateful for you for this connection. Sarah and I hit it off immediately. Actually, we were introduced via text last year at an Endwell conference, which is a conference for kind of death nerds and death workers. And I didn't realize I was at the same conference as her. I arrived at the conference while we were text messaging, and I said, "Hey, I have a busy weekend. Let me just get to you next week and we can find a time to chat." I had a busy weekend because I would be at this conference, and turns out she was at the same conference. So we didn't get to meet there. I think we crossed paths once, but we reconnected shortly after. And she is a part of this journey that I'm facilitating for people who want to explore their mortality with a pretend deadline of 1 year out into the future. And anyways, before that started, we were just having phone calls, and we were having such great phone calls. And I've been having such amazing phone calls with so many people over the last couple of years that I've been saying I need to record this phone call. And I never do. This time I did. So this episode is a recorded phone call just on Apple Record. Every few minutes you might hear like a little beep, 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 like super short, minor that shows it's still recording. You might hear sirens. You might hear whatever it is on the phone call. It's pretty raw. I edited it as best as I could, but I wanted to leave it pretty raw for the most part. So thank you for being here in this episode. Sarah is exploring doing a darkness meditation retreat. She learned that I had done of one, so she called me to ask about my experience. And I realized that it really do much justice to this experience and talking about it. So I'm actually really excited. She really helped me relive the experience of how much fun and sacred and beautiful and life-changing it was for me. If you're unsure what a darkness meditation retreat is, a darkness meditation is essentially where you are just in a pitch black room for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. I did mine 3 days, or like 2 days, but where you're just in a pitch black room. You have a shower, you have a bed. They bring you food without compromising light, and you're just alone with your mind. So I did that in 2021, and my life changed since then. And you'll hear in the rest of the episode. Thank you for being here. Enjoy this episode. Talk soon. Mine's recording. Is it recording for you yet?
This call will be recorded.
Okay, it
Beautiful.
recorded.
All right.
All right, that's cool. I'm excited. Okay. That's so funny how it just recorded like that by accident. But yeah, so you did
Nothing's an accident. Nothing's an accident.
I know, you're right. I love that. Yeah, you're right. Nothing is that is my new mantra. Nothing is an accident. Okay. I love that. Um, well, David, I have a question though. So, okay, did you do any prep work before you decided to do
No, very little.
no
Well, I had a few
meditation? You never
months.
did like retreats? You never did silent retreats or any of that
No,
stuff?
no, I never did
What?
anything. Yeah, I went straight for it. Um,
No.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, that was it. I had done some guided meditations. I was doing yoga, but I was doing a lot of guided yoga. But no, a lot of it was like, yeah, I'm not prepared to go in there, but it's what I got to do kind of thing.
What? So like, okay,
They had a screening call. Like you set up a call and you don't just sign up and show up. Like before you pay, you have to set up a Zoom call. I think we had a Zoom call or a WhatsApp call. And they just
okay.
I think we spoke for like 30 minutes. They kind of wanted to hear where my heart was and what my intention for doing it was and stuff like that. And then yeah, they recommended 3 nights for beginners. And they wouldn't let any
Okay.
beginners book over that many days.
This is what like baffles me. You said you were scared of the dark. So I'm scared of the dark. How did you even like?
Yeah, I was very
What was your
scared of the
like? How
dark.
did? But is there a
Um,
reason why you're scared of the dark? Like you just as a kid always been scared of the dark,
yeah,
or
just as a kid, I was always scared of the dark. I was always scared of the dark.
that's so
I always needed like some light on to sleep. Yeah, I just remember sometimes as a kid, I think I would watch scary movies and then I'll just be terrified and like I have, there's memories of like peeing my bed from being so scared and stuff. So like yeah, I don't think it was completely rational anymore. I think it was just from childhood. And even what I remembered vividly too is growing up, we used to clean my mom's church, or the church we grew up going to. We would help clean it.
uh-huh.
And so we'd go like on a random weekday to clean it. And you're in this huge sanctuary, and when we turned the lights off, it was always terrifying. And I
I mean,
didn't
in the
realize.
church, I'd be terrified too. I'd
I
be like,
know,
"There's a
right?
devil and the angels at war." I don't
I guess
know.
so. I don't know, but I thought about that when doing the darkness retreat. It's like, man, I was always so scared of church. Like that was a holy place. Why was I afraid of the dark
That's
there?
so. That is so interesting. I love how you say like, "Why would I be scared of church? That's a holy place." That's so. That's so true. So true.
Yeah.
It's so
So,
true.
and then when I first got there, there's a guide who walked in with me, and he kind of showed me some breathing exercises that I could do during the dark. And he was there if I asked any questions, if I had any questions for him before going. And he lit a candle, and before he left, he's like, "You can blow this candle out now. You can blow it out later, tomorrow. The choice is yours. This is your experience." And I was
Oh,
like, "All right." And
be
then he
like,
left.
stop it. He just like give you a candle and you can like blow it out whenever you want, and then that was it. There was
Basically.
no like, oh my god.
Well, I mean, yeah, we had a minute to sit down and talk and stuff, and then that was kind of after before he left.
But what was the room like? I'm curious. Like
It
obviously this the bathroom, right? Obviously
yeah.
the
There's a
bed.
bathroom. Yeah, so obviously before I let it out, I kind of reorient myself in the room. There's a it's like kind of like a L shape, like a really thick, short L.
Uh-huh.
There's like a bed when you walk in. There's like a table area where there's water up against the wall, and then there is a bathroom and a shower. They kind of occupy the same space. They're very close to each other, and I don't remember if there was a shower mat in there, but
Uh-huh.
yeah, I was in the same place basically. Um, so I would always shower after using the bathroom just to play it safe.
I know that's what I'm saying. I mean, this is so funny because like I was thinking like, okay, when the lights is out, like then you had to reorient yourself, kind of like feel your way through like
Yeah.
that
Well, you know
that
what's
was it
funny?
completely dark?
That
Like
is where my head
completely?
went. That is where my head went. I was like, oh, I got to figure everything out. Let me check everything out in my bags. And that was me trying to control the situation, find
Oh
out where
man,
everything is.
okay.
And so I'm over here getting into OCD mode. Where's all this? Where's all this? Where's all this? And then I just heard like this very calm and silent whisper amid all the chaos in my in my head. And it was just like, blow it out. And I was
What?
like, what the I was like, who is that? And I was like, no, I gotta do it. And it said
No,
it
it's
again.
starting. Oh my
It said
goodness.
it again. It was like, blow it out. And I was
Oh
like,
my
fuck. So I just
god.
listened and I blew it out right then and there. While I was
Okay,
like,
so you blew it out, and then what was like your initial first like body
oh
response or your mind? Like,
man, I felt consumed. I felt
what do you mean by
reunited.
consume?
I felt I felt baptized. I
What?
felt
The moment you blew out the
yeah, I
candle,
felt
Ty?
consumed. I felt reunited. I felt
Mm.
whole. I felt peace. I felt like
What?
I got a big hug. It was insane. It
What?
was
Oh my,
euphoric.
wow. And then like, but the moment, the feeling that you felt before you blew out the candle, you were saying like you felt like
Panicked. Panicked.
OCD, you need to like
Yep.
you need to control the situation, and then like that moment you blew out the candle, it was like
Mm.
you were consumed and
It was
baptized.
surrender. That was surrender.
What? This is
That was surrender.
David, I cannot
That
imagine.
feeling was
What?
surrender. Oh my God. I just put it two and two together. Yeah. I was
Wow.
experiencing surrender. I was like, none of it matters. None
I
of it
mean, like,
matters.
if that first second was like pivotal and so monumental, like I can't imagine the next like 72 hours. So, I mean, like, I mean, there was no screaming, no panic attacks, no like
Well,
trying.
yes, there were, um, but that was because I was dumb, and so in my I still tried to organize my stuff in the dark. There was
No,
meditation pillows, so
okay,
I made sure that I put a pillow at each edge, because at each edge of a wall, because I didn't want to stub my toes.
yeah, yeah.
So I was like,
I
that's
can
that's rule
imagine.
number one. Then I can roam around freely. And
Okay,
yeah, I did that. I I was like pacing a lot, like you just learn to listen to your mind, but I was dumb and I had taken some edibles with me, some weed edibles.
no. I was
Yes.
wondering if they allowed to take edible. Okay, why was
Yeah.
that a dumb thing? Like,
Because, well, so to backtrack real quick, when you said like if they would check, or when I was first talking to them about wanting to do the retreat, I told them that I was also considering doing peyote, um, during that same visit to Mexico, and they strongly discouraged it. They're like, no, 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 you don't want to do that.
wait,
And I was
what
like,
is it
why?
called? Dave, what is it
I
called?
like peyote.
What is
It's like a
that?
cactus. I believe it's like a hallucinogen from a plant medicine from cactus or
Oh
something
my
like that.
God, I never heard of that.
I
Okay,
could be wrong, but I know it's another part of like Mother Nature's medicine out there.
okay.
And but they strongly discouraged it. And I was like, "Well, why?
Why?
I'm trying to get like as much healing and
Yeah.
reflection as I can get." And they're like, "Well, you might get more lost and visit two different teachers." And I was
Oh,
like, "Oh shit."
wow.
So I was
Oh,
like, "Okay, that makes
oh,
sense." And they're like, "The darkness is a very ancient teacher. It's potent of
oh
its
my
own.
goodness.
Just enjoy and have the darkness on its own. You'll have plenty to learn." And she's fucking right. It's like four
Oh
years ago, and
my
I'm still learning
God.
from it.
But I love that they said that darkness is your ancient teacher. Is that what they
Yeah,
said?
the darkness is an ancient teacher.
Oh my God, I never heard of that way before. Okay, so what so what happened when you took the edibles? Like you had two
Oh,
different
I started
teachers. So what the
freaking the
fuck
fuck out
happened?
when the paranoia came in. I was
Oh
freaking the
shit.
fuck out. I was
Well,
like,
what did it look like to freak? I'm like freaking out too. Like being alone in the dark and silent. Like,
yeah, I was
ah,
freaking the fuck out. I was like, oh my gosh, I just helped them kidnap me. I was like, I'm locked in this room. I was like, what's gonna stop them from coming in when I'm sleeping and actually kidnapping me? I was like, not a damn thing. And so like there was water jugs, those big 5 gallon water jugs.
yeah.
I was I was moving them in the dark to cover the table or to cover the entrance door. I was like,
Stop
no,
it.
if they come in, they're gonna
No.
they're gonna come up against this water, and I'm gonna hear it. I'm gonna hear it. And I was
No.
doing that. I was freaking out. Like I cheated. I got on my phone and I was looking up reviews. And I was like, bitch, you did this. I was like, you did all this already. You're saying like you did all this before. And then I called a friend. I don't think I haven't told anyone this,
Oh
but
my God, David,
I
I can't.
I called a friend on WhatsApp and I was like, hey, can you look up reviews here? I think I'm being kidnapped.
Stop it. Stop it. I love it. Oh,
And then she's like, oh, he was freaking out. And then they're
oh
like,
my
I like had to bring myself out. I was like, no, no, I'm fine. This is what you wanted. I'm here.
God.
So it was awful. I was panicking a lot. And then
Oh,
I eventually, like, I turned on the candle again for a little
oh, so you
while.
can so they let you light up the candle again, like with a match?
Yeah, I found the match. Well, I had my
How-
phone, so I used that as like the light and found the match.
I always
Um,
wonder, how do you find the match? Okay, awesome.
yeah. Or I would have just set it where I left
Okay.
it. But
Oh my
that
God,
first time was kind of
David.
hell, yeah. And I just fell asleep and I kind of slept it off. And I was like, that was dumb.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was a crazy 24-hour journey. The first 24
That
hours.
first 12
Like,
hours. Yeah, the first
oh,
12
12
hours.
hours. Okay. And
Yeah.
then you slept. And then when you woke up, I'm curious, like because there's no sense of time, or well, you had your phone, so you could Like, are there rules like you can have your phone for time or no?
No, no,
Like,
you obviously you're not supposed to have your phone. You're not supposed to have any kind of light. And so I was just exposed to my mind. I had a front row seat to my mind. And I
wow, a
was
front
just like,
row
I was
seat to your
obsessed with
mind.
the time. I was obsessed with the time. Because I woke up and
Mm,
I was like, what time is it? What time is it? What am I gonna do? Like, is it breakfast? Is it what's going on? What time is it?
mm,
What time is it? And then I couldn't decide on doing anything because I didn't know what time it was. Because it's like, oh, I might want to meditate. But it's like, oh, but if
mm.
they're gonna come, I don't want to meditate yet. And so I was just going around in circles and circles and
Oh
circles.
my,
And then I was like, what the fuck does it matter? I'm here for 2 days.
oh my
It's so just,
goodness.
yeah, um, kind of just like seeing it for what it was. And it's like, what the fuck are you going crazy about, dude?
Oh my goodness. So then, like, were you able to surrender to time at some point, or you like,
Well, I think taking naps helped. I remember taking a lot of naps.
okay,
They told me that that's what the body
that
will
normal
naturally
that like your
do.
body would naturally do?
Yeah.
Right. That's what I was wondering. Like,
Yeah, it's
okay.
like going into the womb.
Oh
Um
my goodness. I love
yeah.
that. Going to the womb.
Yeah, you're going into the womb. And
Okay.
yeah, so I took some naps, I took a lot of showers. Um I would do meditating. That was when I did the Who Am I meditation.
Okay.
um I just sat on the meditation pillow and I was just asking myself over and over, who am I? And like when they teach us to meditate, it's always like, just acknowledge those thoughts that come in and let
Right.
them
Right.
go and return to
Yeah.
the breath, return to the
Yeah.
breath. So every
Yes.
time I was doing who am I would say who am I out loud. I would have a bunch of lines and rhymes just like come to my mind, like I was
Mm.
because had just started writing poetry like 2 or 3 months before that. And so it
Right.
was consuming me. I had even written poetry right before going in. But
Oh wow. Okay.
so I do this who am I meditation and like fuck just nothing but poems, nothing but lines. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I'm trying to meditate. Like who
Oh
am
my
I? And
goodness.
then and it's like they were coming even louder and faster. And so I just like kind of put two and two together and I was like, oh shit, I'm a poet. And
Oh
like
my
when I said it
God.
out loud, I fell back like on the floor. I
Wow.
felt pushed down by
What?
the energy of it. And I felt
Oh my
consumed
God.
again, like that
Another
baptism
that's
feeling. I
oh
was just
Lord.
laughing so loud and
Oh
crying
my
like in the fetal position. It's just
oh
like
my God.
it felt like a reunion. I was like, this is who I am. I'm a poet.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. And so that was just euphoric for a few hours, for I don't know, the rest of the night. I couldn't even tell you what day or time that was. Um, yeah, that was, and I was like, oh shit, this is what I came here for. Like, this is what I came
Wow.
here for.
Wow. I'm just processing this all in like like I just imagine like I was just thinking like how you were like meditating and you're like get my thoughts up, my rhymes, my poems, and meanwhile you're like, who am I? Who am I? And then you realize, oh my God, I'm a fucking poet. And then like I mean like, oh my God, just like that paragraph, just like that scene, it's just so powerful because that's such a, you know, ourselves at war with each other, like trying to like, and then somehow trying to embrace those two worlds, like those two parts. Um, wow, that's so crazy, Dave. Beautiful. Like just like this, that this awakening, realizing that coming to your heart, this is who you are, a poet.
Mm,
David, I am a poet,
yeah.
and then like, and then you fell backward and baptized again, motherfucker. I'm like jealous. Like what?
I
Another
had a couple of
baptism.
soul orgasms, I guess.
Oh my Speaking of soul orgasm, can I ask you a personal question? You don't, were you like, do people like masturbate there or they're like against? Like,
You know
I'm just
what?
curious.
I did. I
What
did.
are you not allowed to? That's like a natural
No, you
thing.
can
That's what.
do it. I mean,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. I was wondering. I'm like, I wonder if it
Maybe you
like.
probably wouldn't want to, but there is something to be said about also having a very healthy and sacred relationship to our sexuality.
Oh, totally. They say it's
And
like a portal, like another way of embracing. the sexuality in yourself is also another way of connecting to,
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
God, yourself. But I was just like, oh, when you said soul orgasm, I love that soul orgasm. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, I'm glad
masturbation.
you asked, but that's probably been my most, I don't know, like enjoyable, memorable experience ever doing it.
Oh, that's
It felt so
awesome.
special. I was like, oh shit, this is crazy, and then just went back to defiling it with porn, but we're only human.
Oh my God, I love it. So this is now the second day, right? So the second baptismal, the second day,
Yeah, I think
like,
it's about the second day where I experienced that because so I was in there 2 nights. I was supposed to be in there 3, but there's actually a misunderstanding or a mistake when I first got there, and
okay,
it was starting a day later than I had planned and expected. And
okay,
so if I had remained with the original plans, I would have gotten out of that third day that morning and
okay.
gone straight to the airport.
Oh,
And I was like, no, fuck no. I'm not
yeah.
going
I
to
mean,
the
I that when
airport.
I said, oh, I'm like, oh, that's like, I don't know. You might go to PTSD going straight to
Yeah,
the airport from.
exactly. I need time to
Okay,
integrate and just process. And so,
right,
um,
right. Oh
so
my,
I got out a night early. I decided to do it like last minute. I knew going in that that was going to be my last night and the next morning.
okay.
And I was
So
like,
how did you
man,
do that? Did you like, hey, like, it didn't way to
I just
communicate with
left. No,
them?
no one was there. So I just left. I left the money in like the cash thing and I sent them a
You
message on
just
WhatsApp.
left? Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, I just left. Yeah,
Wow.
I
So
felt like I'd
okay,
gotten what I went for after the poetry like baptism. I was like, that's
I
what the
love
fuck I came here for. I was like, let me get
exactly.
out of here. Let me go enjoy the beach and I'll go home tomorrow.
Oh my goodness. So let me back it up a little bit. So when you got out, like, do you remember what your body felt, your mind, like everything? Like this, I mean, I don't know. Like now
I
you're
felt
out of the
high.
womb.
I felt high.
Okay.
I just felt so high on life. Like I couldn't really I don't know. Like I was so excited. I was overwhelmed with life and like with joy and purpose and love and yeah, it was just such a big natural high and I remember just going to the beach, walking around and it's like I had too much energy to just sit. I was freaking out.
Oh my goodness.
I should have written, but I just went for a walk and I remember recording a video. I'll probably look for it. I recorded a video talking to myself and um posted it on my Instagram at the time, I think. Um
Oh, that is amazing. Are you allowed to record yourself like in the silent retreat? Like just like,
I think
or
you
did
can.
any?
There's Aubrey Marcus. He had made like a documentary of his darkness retreat.
Oh,
I
okay.
personally wouldn't,
Okay,
unless
why?
well, unless I knew I could trust myself to like actually not change my behavior because of it. But
Ah,
I
that's
feel like subconsciously, if you know you're being watched, I don't know. It's like, are you gonna
Oh,
be
that's
yourself?
so true. I didn't think about that. I'd probably be like, don't forget to subscribe. I'm kidding.
And people can do that. Like maybe
Right,
I'm just not at a level of my relationship to my ego or whatever. Maybe
right.
some people can, but
Wow,
I would need more time. But if I do it again,
wow.
I would do 7 days.
What the fuck? 7 days, David?
I think so.
You, you said seven?
Yeah.
There's 7 days? Okay. I mean,
You
I'm
can do as long
still
as you
like,
want. There's 7, 10. These were initiations
oh my
back in
God.
the day of our ancestors. You'd go into a cave for a month.
Oh my God. I mean, it's amazing. You know what's so crazy? And like, um, the way that you did it, I love it because it's like, the, it, at the end of the day, it's your intuition, right? It's your
Yes.
intuition, the higher
Yes.
call, it's calling you.
And I think if there's going to be a substep of having to be ready, it's not your intuition. That's where like you become louder than your intuition because you're never
Hmm.
fucking ready. every
I
fucking
know.
every fucking great story of anyone who followed their inner calling, they were never fucking ready.
That's so true. I love that. Thank you for the reminder. You're right. Like every
The
great
you
leadership, every great person that were never ready or didn't want to yet, and
They didn't
then
want
like
it or they were
surrender.
just thrust into it.
Yes.
The yeah, it's like the doing is is the preparation. You become prepared in the
Hmm.
doing.
Hmm. I love that. Can you say it again in the doing?
You become
Um,
prepared in the doing.
hmm. God, like, but so how old were you when you did the silent retreat? The dark
Um,
retreat.
I was 20, 28, 29.
Oh
No,
my,
I'm
so
30.
that's like,
Maybe I was turning 30. You know what's funny? I did it during 4th of July weekend. So that was like my Independence Day.
oh my God, that is so crazy. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. So you
I
want to do it again? It's like, I think it's awesome. I think it's
well,
inspiring that like you were able to do that and like, um, I love your process. No, I was just thinking about it the past week. I was like, oh my God, I kept thinking about it. And all my friends are like, even my former therapist, like, almost had a heart attack when I told him about it. And he does like 10 days silent retreat. And he's like, he looked at me like he's like, I mean, he's already white and he's got more white. I was like, Josh, and
mm,
he's like, Sarah. I was like, that exists. I'm like, yeah. Um,
it's
but it was, yeah.
interesting how it's so scary for everyone. And when you get to the bottom of it, is like you're just with yourself. Why is that so? The fact that that scares you should scare you.
I know, but you know what? I'll be honest with you too. I'm scared of finding myself again, and like, um, and finding the Sarah, that the childlike Sarah that I was before. And then I know the type of person I am is that once I know, like, once I'm awakened, I cannot go back. I will go 100, like, I give 150% in like being in this journey, and it's like,
So is it part of like the I think Cypress or Cypher in Matrix where he's like, I want to go back, like I want to stay asleep. Ignorance is bliss.
sometimes, yeah. Like, I remember telling my guide, like, man, like, this awakening part of remembering, like, I'm assuming like we all go in the stages of awakening, right? Stages of spiritual, like, um spiritual growth, like in every
Yeah.
cycle that we go through. But and I remember saying, wow, it's a little lonely. Like, was it this better? Was it really good? But then I know in my heart and soul, and like, no, this is the right thing. This is like, um, this is the reality. Like, this is the real, like the experience of full joy and love and grief and anger. This is the real thing. But I just know, like, I will even go further and love life even more. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I don't know how to explain it, but it's like, I can't. It's like, I guess it's like a relationship, right? Like, you're just
Yeah.
dating, and as time goes, you get really invested in it, and you put more energy into this, and like, um,
What is
so
calling
I'm.
you? What's calling you to go?
I don't know that there's part of me that's scared of the, like, how strong I am. Like, I'm a very, I think, I don't know if I believe in past life, but I do. I believe in everything. I believe, like, somewhere I was a fighter and a lover at the same time. And so I'm trying to, like, figure out what that means, what that looks like.
Mm.
And I think, like, part of me is like, I wake up so many times and I'm like, oh my God, I'm a storyteller. But how do I tell stories? Like, how is this going to be a life? Like, how do I, like, make a living out of this? How do I, like, and I get all in my head. So actually next week I'm going to a storytelling workshop in Miami, which I'm like kind of like, not excited, just because I met some of the people there through Zoom, and I'm not trying to be like, I don't want to be not, I'm not saying judgy, but it's like the questions they ask, like, we had to do assignment, David, like the questions are like, what are 3 things you value? What makes you feel alive? And like, I was just kind of sad by the responses. The response was like, seeing my business thrive makes me feel alive. Um, and I wanted to, like, yeah, that's great, but what's more? Like, once your business is gone, what makes you thrive? What makes you alive? And then I realized, oh man, I'm probably at the wrong storytelling conference. I realized, I looked it up, David. It's like a storytelling conference for those who are like already have the life coaching business. I didn't even realize. I was
Oh,
like, what?
really?
I was like, fuck, I'm in the wrong one.
Well, hey, there are no
I know
accidents,
that.
remember?
Oh, you're right. I love that. Thank you. So,
Well, there
but
obviously there could be, but listen to your intuition. Like, well, now that you know it's like a mistake, your intuition still might be, hey, I don't give a fuck. We're still going.
yeah, well, I'm gonna Miami. It's gonna be warm. Here it's freaking cold in this New York City. I'm like, oh my God. But no, I think it's just like finding my ground again, you know? And then
Mhm.
I know this time around, like I am going to go, like I'm 100% committed, if not even more. Just like but I think it's just like it feels so fast. I'm just so shocked how like everything's really lining up. I just can't grasp. I just can't hang on. Like it's so fast. I'm like, oh my God, like it's happening. Like it's I'm here. I'm following my intuition. I right
Yeah.
now I'm really following my intuition. Everything, and a lot of people going against me. It's so crazy. Like there's my old friends that I love and dearly are like, I don't know, like just not in the same I mean they love me and I love them, but it's just like they have a lot, and rightfully so, they have a lot of like concerns. And then like God brings new people in my life, like
Mhm.
spontaneously. I'm like, what? Oh my God, I needed you. Like my new soul sister I met, like my new soul brother and
Mhm.
stuff. But it's like been such a gift at the same time. But anyways, yeah, so the dark retreat was in my mind for the last like couple weeks. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna call
Ugh.
David. I'm gonna
Especially
like
if it's been that long. I think that's how you also know when it's really your intuition. Like you said, it's been 2 weeks. If it wasn't an
really.
intuitive calling, you'd probably let go after a few days. But because it's like
Hmm.
lingering and still there, you're like, oh fuck, no, this is a real desire that I have to follow.
Ah,
At least that's how
okay.
I interpret it, like I think I think there's certainly like a learning curve to knowing when it's your intuition. It obviously smart starts with like small decisions, but
Mhm.
I knew for me that I could trust it was my intuition for the darkness retreat because I had that feeling already when I did the Peace Corps. I
Hmm.
didn't know why I was doing the Peace Corps, but like I followed that feeling that was tugging me. It was like, no, this is what we have to do. Trust me, we have to do this. And I was like, all right, I'm trusting that. And like that experience was insane. And honestly,
Oh
like
my.
I didn't really heal completely out of that until like through the darkness retreat is what really helped bring me so much healing because that experience broke me for several years. Turned me into a shell, but it like ripped me open.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And so did you do the Peace Corps like right before you went to the silent retreat?
No,
I
the
mean the
Peace
dark
Corps
retreat?
was from 2015 to 2017.
Oh, okay. So you did for a couple years.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then I was kind of I was in a pretty dark place from like 2018 to 2020, 2021.
Hmm. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Um and then
Wow.
and then I started writing and that started giving me a little bit of life. And then the darkness retreat and then from there, a year after the darkness retreat, I quit my job.
Wow.
And
Wow.
then yeah, a year, like I don't know, I want to say like a year and a half. It's funny that you mentioned that and maybe it's the direction you're going, but I think a year and a half after my darkness retreat is when I explored a past life regression for the first time. And that was
Oh.
also an insane experience which connected me back to the darkness actually, which was insane to give a little
Oh.
teaser. Yeah.
Oh my
We could
goodness.
tune in next week to David and Sarah.
I know, seriously, like, you're gonna be someone that you know what? Okay, I imagine my dark retreat. I think I'm probably gonna scream for like 24 hours. I don't know. I
You
think I'm
know
gonna have to.
what? If even if that's your experience, if you're okay with like just accepting that being your experience for a day, then like so be it. Maybe it's what you need to get out of you, you know?
I mean, not like scream. I think I would be
Uh,
scream out of terror. I'd be so afraid.
Oh.
I mean, like, I mean, this is why I'm afraid of the dark. I mean, yeah, a combo of like watching scary movies,
Mm-hmm.
but there's another part of me that's afraid of the dark. I feel that I don't know. I sense energy, and I'm afraid of the energy that I will sense and feel.
Oh.
And so,
Well,
and a lot of it comes in the dark. I just never embraced that. I always thought it was like, in the Christian upbringing, especially SDA, it's considered dark and demonic
yes.
or that stuff. But I don't know. But yeah. So I'm afraid of like what will resurface. Will it be my head or will it be real? If it's real, how do I embrace it? But
That makes
I
sense.
know.
That makes sense. I can definitely relate with my religious upbringing as well. You can get a blindfold. I took a blindfold. I started actually. I guess I lied. I did prepare with a blindfold.
Okay.
It's
Where did you do it, in your own room or?
I mean, I would just put the blindfold on for like 10 or 15 minutes at a time just to get small doses,
Okay.
and just like when I wake up, I would do that and I would just I don't know. I would kind of just like re-envision where everything in my room is and just start practicing that kind of spatial awareness.
Okay. I mean, my best friend Kurt, he's so crazy. He's like, Sarah, why don't we lock you in a basement? And
Ah!
like, I was like, no, you're not gonna lock me in
No,
a
don't
basement.
associate anything traumatic with it, more than I guess you
Yeah.
already do. But it's called the Mindfold Blindfold, and it's got like a
Okay, I'll check that
styrofoam.
out.
It's got a
Okay.
styrofoam filter to it, kind of, and it's not comfortable to
Okay.
wear for like super long periods of time, but it does eliminate all light. Like you can look straight up at the sun and you won't see anything.
Okay,
So it's
that's so
very
cool. Thanks
powerful.
for like sharing that. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was so thank you for sharing your experience, man. Like it really helped me, like it validated a lot of my fears and like my curiosity too, and like um and I can't wait for you to do 7 days. But if you're already a poet, I wonder what else is out there for you in 7 days. Like like seriously. Like there's gonna be like some other like another part of David that you didn't even know that was
Well,
part of you, or you probably
there's
did. I don't.
visions. I would be in like major receiving mode. At least that would be my intention. Even though I would have that intention with a
Hmm.
lower intention and be open to whatever comes up, you know. But um, after 3 days is when the DMT in your body will be naturally start kicking in, and
What
naturally
is DMT?
DMT is an ingredient that's in a lot of other hallucinogens of plant medicine. Like our body
Oh,
can create it organically under the right circumstances, and if you're in darkness after 3 days, that's a circumstance where it'll start happening. So basically, from what I've read and what I've heard, from days 4 to 7, 3 to 7 will just be like a lot of hallucinations and like a lot of insane soul journeys of just experiencing. It's basically like, well, like what a plant medicine would do, or
right, right,
darkness is just an
right.
organic way of getting there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so from days
Oh,
4 to 7 would be a fucking trip and a half. So that's what I kind of want.
yes. I
Yeah.
think you're the right person. Like, yes. Um,
That's what I feel
I'll be
ready for,
happy
at
to hear
least.
your stories. What?
That's what I feel ready for.
Okay, dude. Yes, I totally, totally, rooting for you. I'll be rooting for you on the sideline. But oh my gosh, David, I think that's like, are you gonna do it at the same place where you did it at, or?
Yeah, there's like a different owner. It's a new probably because it was
That's
also
cool.
very hot. Like I think that was just a feature, but there's an AC in the pictures, and I was like, oh, I'll be able to have
Oh,
AC
it was
while I'm
hot in
in
that
there.
room.
And I get there and they're like, hey, the AC's broken. It is what it is. You don't have to stay, but you can still stay. And I think that's just kind of what they told everyone. Like, hey, you want to do a
Oh my,
dark retreat with AC? Get the fuck out of here.
oh, oh my God, that is
Yeah.
so
I don't
crazy.
know if
Well,
that's what
you
it
did
actually
it.
was, but yeah.
You did it. Oh my goodness.
Do
Well, like
you?
my last question.
Yeah.
So, like when you were in the darkness, what did darkness look different from what you did darkness have it come in a different form, a different like senses when you're in the darkness for that, for 2 days?
I mean, it was just all encompassing. I don't. It was everywhere. I don't.
Okay. No, I was just
No.
wondering, like, wonder if it looked different, if it was the same. Like um yeah, I was just wondering about darkness, like what would it
No.
look like? And
Yeah. No. I think at one point I fooled myself into thinking I can see the wall in front of me, or something like that,
mhm.
or and I would reach for it and I would like kind of trip. I was like, oh, there's nothing there. I guess my mind's just trying to make something up, but I didn't see anything. Like it
Oh,
honestly was like the blindfold. If I keep the blindfold on for 24 hours, it would kind of feel the same. The energy would be very
oh,
different, you know.
oh wow. Yeah, for
Um,
sure. For sure.
I would
Okay.
feel remiss if I didn't offer to share the poem I wrote before doing it. If you
Yes.
hear it. So this poem is what I wrote before, and then the very ending of the poem, which I shared with you in a previous call, I think.
Yes, you did.
That's at the end. Okay, you want to hear the beginning part to it then?
Yes, of course.
All right.
Please.
The sirens are awesome.
I know. It's like New York City,
Poetic.
man. It's like crazy. It's been going on actually for the last like half hour. I'm like, what's going on, New York?
It's all good. All right, here we go.
All right.
I'm just gonna take a deep breath. I'm going into the dark. I don't mean to sound so stark, but the darkness has called me more than anything I've embarked on. When I say darkness, I mean a pitch black room. Not where I meet my doom, but where I can face my doom. A place to confront my own mind without my phone, books, music, or sight. This was existence before coming into life. Before my mom pushed and pushed with all her might, before I ever had a sense of what's wrong or what's right. This is how I meet myself and find my own light. To be honest, I'm terrified of the dark. I must be insane, but eventually I have to go against my own grain. At 29, I've never felt more misplaced. I'm living in this permanent state of disgrace, doing anything but looking life in its face. I swear my dreams are rich, but my ambition is lost. I'm like that tooth in the corner that never gets flossed. I swear the world is my Rachel and I'm the Ross. I'm begging to
Mm.
be seen without considering the cost. Once I'm in the dark, I don't know what I'll do. I'll probably start by doubting my entire career. And then imagine movie trailers for my new life's premiere. I feel like I'm losing my mind before reaching a new frontier. I read that after 24 to 36 hours, a higher consciousness appears. It'll give me new intuition to face my fears and the wisdom to transform all of my years. This is my way of confronting death. My final destination, but I live like infinity is left. Can't you see? The darkness will be there at the end. After my thirst to live devours my why, once the water to my river runs dry, and when tears of love are all I can cry, the darkness will be there whether I'm ready or not. So before I go back, I have to know I've given this all that I've got. The darkness was a mutual friend that introduced me to myself. It gave me a hug and showed me where I lost the remote to my soul. I once threw it into the black hole of yesterday after I put my heart on mute and ate a tub of what ifs while binge watching my regrets. David, are you still watching? No, I'm listening. Hmm.
Oh, I love that fucking poem. I'm like, oh, like everything melts inside. Like my body's like, oh, I can breathe. Thank you for sharing your gift to this world and being you and claiming yourself and finding who you are, David the poet. Thank you. Literally, thank
Mm.
you.
Thank you. You've really helped me to re-experience how beautiful all of that was.
Uh, it does it feel like it was like yesterday when you wrote that poem? Like it sounds like it's like as if you were living in that experience. Like I feel it. Like when you share that poem.
Yeah,
Like
it just takes a life of its own. And I remember just like writing it down before. I was like, I gotta write a poem, and that's what came in. And I was like, oh shit. And yeah, and like even towards the
oh,
end, I had to just close my eyes. I was like, these words
oh
already
man.
know me.
Thank you, David. Thank you for
Yeah,
taking your time. I appreciate it. It means so much.
of
Um,
course.
thank you. Looking
I
forward to more stories, more
yeah.
yes,
Next week
more
I'll tell you about the past life regressions.
what? Wait, what?
The past life regression that I did.
Okay, yes, that'll be
Yeah,
our
that
next
was
one
insane.
for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. That's all good. But keep me
Oh
posted
man, I can't wait.
on if you do the darkness retreat. This one was in Oaxaca, Mexico. So I can send that to you, or maybe you'll
All
find
right,
your own.
yes, yes, you can send it to me. I'm open to anything for sure.
Right on.
All
And
right, cool.
I actually might want to ask to post this call as like an episode.
Yes, I'm serious. You know what it is? It's like I realize like phone call podcast, like not podcast, but phone call. It's just like the most. It's just unfiltered and real, and like it's just I love that phone call conversation. Every time I'm talking to like my dear friends, like, oh man, I wish we recorded that. It was so good.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, when I heard Alvin, I was like, oh my God, Al. And then like so I'm like, okay, when I meet with David, I want to record a conversation. I think it's just there's so much beauty and so much lesson and so much life in it in a
Yeah,
phone call
we got to loop
conversation.
Alvin into one of these days.
Yes, I know, for sure. Yes,
All
for
right, my
sure.
friend.
All
Thank you
right,
so
cool.
much. I hope you
All
got
right.
what you came for.
Yes, likewise. Thank you for sharing, being vulnerable. Appreciate it.
All right. Have a good night. Have a
All
good
right,
day.
cool. You too. Okay, bye.
Hey, y'all. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If there's anything you'd like to hear more of, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram directly at morintune, MOR.INTUNE. I'll also have a link in the show notes if you want to send me an email. If you are interested in confronting your own mortality, the last day to join my group is Wednesday, April 2nd. So about a week by the time this comes out, which will be very quick. I will be opening new ones or even doing one-on-one guidance. If you're interested, feel free to let me know. Follow the call if you got it. That's all we can do. All right, y'all. Thank you so much and have a great rest of your day.